Hey everyone, and welcome. Today we're going to pull back the curtain on the world of digital marketing. We're going to connect all the dots, starting from the basic tech that actually powers the internet, all the way to the super complex strategies that decide which ads pop up on your screen.
You know that feeling, right? You mentioned to a friend you need new running shoes, and bam! Suddenly every single website you go to is showing you ads for them. How does the internet know? Is it listening in? Well, the real story is way more interesting, and that whole journey, from a simple ad in a newspaper to these hyper-targeted digital promos, that's exactly what we're going to unpack today.
So here's how we're going to break it all down. First, we'll build the foundation, understanding the digital environment itself. Then, we'll head over to the new town squares where everyone gathers, social media. After that, we'll get into the nitty-gritty of digital advertising, and finally we'll see how it all comes together in the e-commerce revolution where you actually click buy.
All right, let's dive right in with part one, the digital environment. Because look, before you can place a single ad or sell one thing online, you've got to understand what online even is. What are the nuts and bolts that make all of this possible? This part is our foundation.
It all starts with a super simple idea, a network. At its core, a network is just two or more computers hooked up to share stuff. Think about your office, where all the computers share a printer. Or even your own home, right? Your laptop, your phone, your smart TV, they're all connected to your Wi-Fi router. That's a network. It's the absolute most basic building block.
Okay, now take that simple idea and scale it up, way, way up. The internet is basically a global network of networks, connecting billions of devices. It's the physical stuff, the giant fiber optic cables running under the oceans, the massive server farms, the router in your living room. It all started as a military project called ARPANET back in '69. And to make sure all these different gadgets can talk to each other, they use a universal language called TCP/IP. You can think of it like the global postal service, making sure every little packet of data gets exactly where it needs to go.
Now this brings us to a really important distinction that a lot of people mix up. The internet is not the same thing as the World Wide Web. The web is a service that runs on top of the internet. It's all the websites and pages and browsers we use every day. Here's a simple way to think about it. The internet is the hardware, the physical roads. The web is the software, the information that travels on those roads.
And this analogy just makes it crystal clear. The internet is the entire global system of roads and highways, all the physical infrastructure. The World Wide Web, then, is all the stuff traveling on those roads. The cars, the trucks, the buses, those are the websites, the videos, the articles you're actually looking at. You need the roads to get anywhere, but it's the cars you actually interact with.
So, with that foundation laid, we can finally get to our main topic, digital marketing. At the end of the day, it's just promoting products or services using all this cool digital tech. It happens on the web, on Google, on social media, in your email, on your phone apps. Basically, if it has a screen, it's a potential spot for digital marketing. And to really appreciate how big a deal digital is, just think about the old way of doing things. Traditional marketing was kind of like shouting with a megaphone. You'd buy a TV commercial, put an ad in the paper, rent a huge billboard. It cost a fortune, and you were just blasting your message out to everyone, hoping the right people were paying attention. It was totally a one-way street, and the biggest headache, you never really knew if it was working.
Digital marketing, on the other hand, is a conversation. It can reach the entire globe for a tiny fraction of the cost, but its real magic comes down to three things. One, it's a two-way street. Customers can talk back, leave reviews, ask questions. Two, every single click, view, and sale can be tracked instantly. And three, the big one, you can aim your message with laser-like precision to the exact people who are most likely to be interested.
And that idea, the ability to have a conversation and build a community, well, that leads us perfectly into part two. We understand the digital roads now, so let's check out the digital town squares where everybody's hanging out. Social media.
Social media marketing, or SMM for short, is all about using these platforms to really connect with people. The goal isn't just to scream, "Buy my stuff." It's about building awareness for your brand, getting people to your website, and finding potential customers. You want to be part of the community, not just some outsider shouting at it.
And good SMM isn't just random. It follows this constant cycle. You start with a plan. Who are you trying to reach? Then you create awesome content they'll actually like. You post it. And this is key, you engage with the comments and messages. Then you look at the data. Which post did well? What time works best? And based on what you learn, you improve your plan and start the whole cycle over again. It's a loop of constant learning.
So where does this cycle play out? Let's take a quick look at some of the biggest platforms out there, starting with the OG, the giant, Facebook. Facebook's biggest strength is just its mind-boggling size. With over 3 billion users, pretty much everyone is on there. That scale, plus all the data it has, lets you target ads with incredible detail. But its main challenge now is that younger users are leaving for other platforms. Plus, its algorithm makes it really hard for a business's normal, unpaid posts to be seen, which pretty much forces you to pay to play with ads.
Next up, let's talk about the visual powerhouse of the social media world, Instagram. Instagram is all about looks. If you sell something that's easy on the eyes, like fashion, food, travel, this is your spot. Engagement is super high, especially with younger folks on stories and reels. The catch? The bar for quality is way up there. A grainy, poorly lit photo just isn't going to cut it. You have to bring your A game, visually. And you're always trying to keep up with its algorithm, which seems to change its mind all the time.
Okay, let's switch gears and talk about the professional network, LinkedIn.
LinkedIn is the undisputed king for B2B, or business-to-business marketing. If you're selling software to other companies or trying to hire top talent, this is your playground. People are there in a professional mindset. The downside is that its advertising tools can be pretty pricey, and it is definitely not the place for fun, casual posts that would work great on Instagram. Now, for a platform that people sometimes forget about, but it is an absolute cornerstone of digital marketing, email. You could say it's the original social network, a direct line of communication between you and your most dedicated customers.
Before we get into the pros and cons, just look at this number, $36. For every single dollar spent on email marketing, the average return is $36. That is just a wild return on investment, and it's why email is still one of the most powerful tools in the game.
So what makes it so good? Well, email gives you a direct, one-on-one line to a customer's inbox. Unlike a social media feed, your message is guaranteed to arrive. But there are challenges. You've got to get past spam filters for one, and most importantly, you have to earn the right to be in someone's inbox. They have to choose to sign up. It's all built on trust.
Okay, building a community is powerful stuff, but sometimes you need to turn up the volume and reach a whole new audience. That brings us to part 3, the world of paid digital advertising. First, let's get something straight. There's a big difference between advertising and publicity. Advertising is what you pay for. You get total control. Publicity is what you pray for. It's when a newspaper writes about you or someone gives you a great review. It's often free and super credible, but you have zero control over it. When we think of online ads, we're usually picturing these guys, display ads. Banner ads are those classic rectangles at the top or side of a site. Pop-up ads? Yeah, they're the annoying ones. And then you have native ads, which are the sneaky ones, designed to look like a normal part of the website's content.
So how do you actually pay for these things? Let's decode this alphabet soup. CPC is cost per click. You only pay when someone actually clicks your ad. CPM is cost per mille or 1,000. You pay for every 1,000 times your ad is shown. That's great for just getting your name out there. And then you have models like CPA, or cost per action. With this one, you only pay when someone does something specific, like buys a product. It's a game changer because the risk shifts from you to the ad platform.
Okay, so all of this, the community building, the ads, the emails, it's all leading to this final, crucial step, the sale. Welcome to part 4, the e-commerce revolution. E-commerce is so much more than just an online store. It's the whole digital system for buying and selling. It totally changed the game, right? It gives us 24/7 access to anything we want. It lets a tiny local shop sell to the entire world. And it's just incredibly convenient.
And it comes in all shapes and sizes. We're all familiar with B2C, business to consumer. That's you buying something from Amazon. But there's also the massive world of B2B, where businesses sell to each other. You've got C2C, consumer to consumer, which powers sites like OLX or eBay. There's even C2B, where you can sell to a business, like a freelance designer. And yep, even governments are in on it, with services like filing taxes online.
One of the real engines of e-commerce is affiliate marketing. It's such a simple, brilliant idea. A person or a website, the affiliate, promotes a product with a special trackable link. Someone clicks that link and buys the thing. The company sees the sale came from the affiliate and pays them a commission. It's a total win-win because the company only pays for a sale it actually made.
Now, you can't just throw a shop online and call it a day. This isn't the Wild West. There's a serious legal framework in place to protect everyone. In a country like India, for example, you have laws for electronic transactions, consumer protection, data privacy, taxes. It's not just red tape. Following these rules is absolutely crucial for building trust and a business that lasts.
All right, let's wrap this all up. If you remember nothing else from this, remember these 4 things. The internet is the infrastructure. It's the roads. Digital marketing is a smarter, targeted conversation, not a megaphone. Social media is where you join those conversations and build a community. And e-commerce uses all this tech to let you do business anywhere, anytime.
And that leaves us with one last big question to chew on. We've got algorithms that can target ads with scary precision and AI that can write the ads for us. So as the machines get better and better at the science of marketing, what's left for human creativity, for intuition, for great storytelling? That's the question that's going to define the next chapter of this whole industry. Thanks for joining me.